Hello, Karen Crow Weinstein. Welcome to the show. I tend to watch some news lately, and President Biden talks about Build Back Better. I don't know exactly what he means by that. If I don't know, and I watch the news, I don't know if many Americans know what Build Back Better means. My whole production, my TV, my books, everything I have done, I call it a divine universe for all. So when I did my research, it was a little bit of an organization who wrote this article, who was spiritual. They read the Bible. I don't know what faith, but they are Christians. So I thought I'd talk about Build Back Better. And I'd like to read this to you. The Bible instructs us to leave a good inheritance to future generations. Proverbs 13:22. With today's passage of the Build Back Better Act in the House of Representatives, we are one step closer to giving our children a bright and healthy future that we can be proud to pass down. The climate and pollution crisis ravaging our communities confront us with a crucial, you can pay me now or pay me later decision. While this bill bears a large price tag, it pales in comparison to the price tag of climate inaction, which carries unimaginable and inexcusable costs in lives as well as dollars. This year alone, climate-fueled extreme weather has cost our economy a record-breaking $105 billion in property and infrastructure damage and over 500 lives lost. Today's choice to pass the most ambitious and transformative climate and clean energy investments in our nation's history will reverberate throughout the generations that follow, making our air purer, our communities safer, our economy stronger, and our families and neighbors healthier. I just want to point out, when we had, at the very beginning of COVID-19, everyone was staying home and working from the home, and no one was driving, but not many cars on the road. Well, there was a day I was on the road in New Haven, Connecticut, and they had cumulus clouds. There's the white puffy clouds, blue sky, fresh air. It was a wonderful scene to see. The bright sun, white puffy clouds, and a blue sky. And then more and more people started to drive and leave the home, either to go to work or go to a grocery store, go out shopping. In time, when there's more and more cars on the road, the pollution came back. It got humid, it got dark, hazy, not a fresh air to breathe. The sky was no longer blue. No more puffy clouds. As Americans, together with the recently passed bipartisan infrastructure bill, the Build Back Better Act ensures pure water by replacing over 5 million lead water lines and clean air by accelerating the deployment of affordable, clean energy to power our homes and communities, plugging air toxins and leaks of climate warming methane from oil and gas infrastructure, and will trade 60,000 diesel school buses for clean electric ones. I wonder, people who buy and sell oil, the gasoline and all, how do they feel once we switch to electric cars? How are they going to feel when not as many people buy fuel for the car or oil for your oil tank to provide heat? And we have more and more people having electric buses. They do this already in England. They have many of those buses are electric buses. We need, as a community, as Americans, we need to step up a little bit more to make things right. I'd like to continue. While the Build Back Better Act puts us on a solid trajectory to combat dangerous climate disruption, more is needed to achieve our national goals to reduce carbon emissions 50% by 2030 from 2005 levels and the ultimate goal of net zero by 2050. As the Build Back Better Act now goes to the Senate for consideration, we call on the upper chamber to close the gap by adding in carbon fee with cashback rebates to low and middle income families and investments in frontline and energy transition, communities, and for clean energy innovation. This carbon-linked revenue raiser would also ensure the Build Back Better Act is paid in full. There is too much at stake to stumble at the finish line. A price on carbon will ensure we successfully meet our critical carbon reduction targets and that these transformative investments are fully paid for. What's in the Build Back Better Act? The Build Back Better Act makes it easier for families and businesses to be the good environmental stewards Scripture calls us to be by providing incentives for American businesses to deploy innovations to power our homes and communities with reliable, clean energy. By removing cost barriers for low and middle income families to go electric with rooftop solar and electric cars, and by helping families increase the energy efficiency of their homes and lowering their energy bills. It also creates millions of family-sustaining jobs, including putting 150,000 Americans back to work in clean manufacturing, employing 200,000 farmers to adopt climate-smart practices, and creating 300,000 jobs for young Americans in the new Civilian Climate Corps that will harness the power of God's creation to make our communities more climate resilient. This bill also holds polluters accountable by incentivizing companies to plug wasteful leaks of climate warming methane and associated toxic air pollutants, and by increasing royalties on oil and gas leases for the first time in 100 years, to ensure producers clean up their mess and restore the land when they are finished. That's what it means by Build Back Better Act. Thank you for watching. with President Biden at the helm, we're going to be okay. And I have trust in our President, Joe Biden, to end the uncomfortable situation, the challenging event occurring by Mr. Putin invading Ukraine. I believe President Biden could bring down and reduce any friction and be able to talk to Mr. Putin reasonably to keep him from invading Ukraine. I know that there's other ways to correct such problems without using extensive force like the military. Have a nice night. Thank you, everyone. Feel better. Believe in God. And trust. Have your trust in President Biden. Thank you.